Well, Swords of Legends Online has genuinely exceeded both MRSSSTIX and my expectations. See, I have a history with these types of games. I spent 2 entire years playing through Perfect World International back in 2008 through 2010. My interests with the MMO genre are very deeply rooted in this specific type of MMO genre, or subgenre, really. And granted, while both MRSSSTIX and I did play over the course of the alpha, and therefore there are going to be changes implemented not only in the upcoming beta test, but the official release of the game, I can say that what we played was genuinely really great quality. Both Gameforge and the developers behind Swords of Legends Online did a fantastic job of not only creating this game, but also bringing it over and localizing it. Now, before I go any further, I do want to make note of 2 different things. Gameforge gave us 101 closed beta keys to give out to all of you guys. So if you're interested in participating in the first closed beta test, and you're interested in participating in the second closed beta test, then all you have to do, go down into the comment section below, leave a comment stating why you would want to play Swords of Legends Online, and click that subscribe button, because I will verify personally that every winner is actively subscribed to our channel, because this giveaway, all of these keys are available to our viewers and subsequently our active subscribers. Now, the very first beta test begins on the 21st of May, and the second closed beta test begins on June 1st and lasts until June 8th. So these 2 keys will allow for you to participate in both of these beta test periods. And not only are we going to be giving away at least half of them in the comment section below, but we will also be raffling them away as we stream the beta tests, which we are going to be doing over on our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/MMORPG. So I urge you to come on over and participate in the giveaway on Twitch, or just to take a look at the game and see if it's something that you might be interested in playing live. Now, Gameforge released a very large PDF for Swords of Legends. It is 31 pages long, and let me tell you, it has a lot of information pertaining to the game. But before we go ahead and get into that specifically, I want to give you guys my opinion, and I guess part of MRSSSTIX's opinion of the game. Now, this, first and foremost, is being advertised as an action MMORPG, and that is not entirely true. See, this is more akin to a hybrid action MMORPG, whereas games like Black Desert Online and Terra are pure, true action combat. This resembles something closer to Guild Wars 2 or Revelation Online. Now, I played through both the Spell Sword and the Reaper, and while I did not like the combat of the Reaper at all, I can tell you that the Spell Sword was definitely my style of gameplay. A lot of the Reaper's abilities did not require a target, whereas a lot of the Spell Sword's abilities, while I could freely aim them, did have kind of a soft lock on, which meant that if there was a target ahead of me and I aimed maybe 15, maybe 20 degrees to its right, my spell would shoot and then curve and then hit the target. Whereas if I aimed maybe 40, 45 degrees to the right, my ability would zoom right past it, which meant that it does require a semblance of aim, but it does provide casters at least with that soft lock. Now, with the Reaper as an example, I did not really have that option. All of my abilities could very easily miss, and while I do feel like that might potentially leave melee at a bit of a disadvantage with regards to PvP, I cannot say specifically because I did not play this at max level at endgame, and I didn't play all of the different melee classes. Now, I am going to be taking a look at the different melee classes over while we stream this. That way, when I give my final opinions on the game after the second closed beta test, I will have a much deeper understanding of how the various different types of classes play. So the combat, hybrid. Now, speaking of the game, the world, and how the zones work, the zones are segregated, which means they're not instanced off from other players in a game like PSO2 or something like Soul Worker or Vindictus, but rather they are, again, segregated and separated by small loading screens like you'd find in Blade and Soul, or you'd find in Terra, Final Fantasy XIV, or Guild Wars 2. The zones themselves are absolutely stunning. I was genuinely left in shock and awe when I saw this game. The scenery, the mountains, the forests, the rivers, the waterfalls, everything about this is so picturesque. It's literally like I was looking at a painting. It was just absolutely gorgeous. It was breathtaking. And the fact that you get to fly on an aerial mount and just soar through the environments, which, let me tell you, the flying in this game looks so cool. But I'm going off topic here. Graphically, the game looks incredible. The character creator, while admittedly a little bit restrictive, a little bit limiting, does provide you the option of creating a unique looking character, although every character that both MRSSTIX and I tried to make looked very Asian. And there's nothing wrong with that, but whereas in traditional fantasy games, you have the option of creating something that looks very Asian or very Caucasian, like they provide a lot of alternatives to the kind of character you can create, and therefore a lot of customization options to craft something very unique specifically to you, or that at least kind of resembles you. But in this game, everything just kind of looks Asian, and that is perfectly fine. Again, I spent a lot of time in games exactly like this, but I know some people are going to be turned off by that Asian aesthetic. The leveling, from what I could tell, was pretty much your traditional MMO experience. You started off, there was an overwhelmingly large amount of narrative in this game. There is so much talking. There is so much quest text, and if you're a fan of a story, if you're a fan of becoming enthralled in a game's world, then this is going to really appeal to you, because trust me, there's a lot of it. So the story has you move through various different areas. You take quests, you take side quests, you farm monsters, and you continue to level up as you progress towards endgame. Now, there are instances where you can do nothing but farm it because the quests require you be a certain level to progress. And I feel like that is one of the issues I had with the game. We were left having to run additional dungeons to kind of close the gap in terms of XP we needed to acquire the next level of story. And that's fine, because games like Blade and Soul, games like Final Fantasy XIV, they all had that issue as well. But it just means that more is required to be done technically to continue playing the game. And at the end of the day, this is a Chinese MMO. Chinese MMOs are notorious for being somewhat grindy, and that's pretty much all we did. We just continued to take quests, we continued to fight monsters, we continued to run dungeons, we dueled both one another and then a couple other people, purely to test out how it all worked. And unfortunately, MRSSTIX won every single duel that she did against me, against other people. It was quite disheartening, but that just goes to show how powerful her class is, because that is the only reason she could possibly win every single duel, right? Now, I mentioned earlier that Gameforge released a 31-page PDF file pretty much covering everything that you probably could ever want to know pertaining to the game. So before I give my final opinion on our alpha experience, I do want to go ahead and read through parts of it that I feel like you guys should know. Some of it positive, some of it negative, but all of it important nonetheless. So for those of you that were unaware, there were going to be several different classes available at the beginning of the game: the Spell Sword, the Reaper, the Summoner, the Bard, the Berserker, and the Spearmaster. Every class has 2 different specialties, or masteries I think they're referred to here, and these unlock for you at level 13. None of these classes are race or gender locked, meaning you can be male or female, human, of pretty much any of them. There is, again, a very strong narrative. The narrative is, of course, unlocked purely based off of the level you are. There are currently 9 chapters available as of the beta test. Currently, the maximum level, as noted here, is beginner level 36. Once you reach beginner level 36, you complete a series of quests that take you to student level 1, and that is the maximum level for the time being. Higher cultivation goals will be added in future updates, and I'm assuming here that the student level, if you guys played Blade and Soul, is essentially going to function as kind of like a Hong Moon level. So my archer in Blade and Soul, as an example here, is Hong Moon level 23, but my character itself is level 60. So I'm again assuming here that you will be, for example, level 36, but your student level will be like student level 3 or student level 5. They do go on to note here that you will need to do things such as dungeons, biographies, the Blood Ruvia, the Turquoise Lantern, and heroic events to continue to level, because doing the story alone will not get you to the level required to continue. They go on to state that you will need both PvE gear and PvP gear. So that is very interesting. That means that the game is going to be split between two. I'm not sure how you go about acquiring PvP gear, maybe by doing arenas or PvP content. At least I'm assuming that's what you would do and how you would go about acquiring it. There's an upgrading system, because naturally every game needs an RNG upgrade system. There's an Astral Essence system, which allows for you to unlock additional bonuses and effects for your class and your mastery. There's a pet system, which you actually unlock during the course of the game. We played and got to make use of that during the alpha test. Now, dungeons are a little bit different in this game. There are multiple different difficulties for the dungeon. Each difficulty for the dungeon has a different gear level recommended, which means that, as an example here, the practice version of the dungeon requires a recommended gear level of 10. That is the very first dungeon that you enter. MRSSSTIX and I entered the very first dungeon on the practice difficulty, and we had absolutely no issues running it. We did not enter it on normal because we had not up until that point achieved gear level 45, but you receive gear of a higher gear level for participating in the difficulty that you chose. It's worth noting that the practice dungeons have absolutely no limit on how much gear you can obtain from them. The normal dungeons allow for 1 piece of gear to drop per day, and the hard versions of the dungeons allow for 1 set per week. And that is, I guess, if you do things like mythic raids or savage raids in World of Warcraft or in Final Fantasy XIV, that might feel familiar to you. But these are specifically pertaining to dungeons, and these are not pertaining to raids. So I feel like imposing that limitation on loot that you can obtain from dungeons is a little unusual. Outside of dungeons, there are other PvE modes like the Blood Ruvia, which essentially allows for you to become a bounty hunter and go about killing monsters, more difficult monsters somewhere around the map. Then there is the Envoy of the Turquoise Lantern, which essentially has you aid wandering souls to the afterlife. There are heroic events. Now, there are PvP game modes that are present in the game. Both MRSSSTIX and I, unfortunately, never had the opportunity to participate in any PvP outside of the 1v1 duels, but there is, as an example here, Fort Haijo. This is going to be a capture the flag game mode, and it is going to be available from 10 a.m. until 1 a.m., which means that it will be closed for a period of time. Then there is the Realm of the 5 Elements, which again is going to be available from 10 a.m. until 1 a.m. and features 15v15. There is the Battle in the Sands, and just there are various different PvP game modes that are going to be present in the game, each having different goals, each having different objectives to complete, and they all interestingly have their own unique times that they are open. As an example here, Battle in the Sands is open from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m., which means that it is only open for 6 hours. Then there are arenas, duels, and there is open world PvP. And I know a lot of you are going to be like, wait, STIX is open world PvP in this game? And yeah, unfortunately, there is a type of open world PvP in this game, and it is called Rampage. So in essence, what this is upon hitting max level, you unlock the ability to use your Rampage ability. Now, upon activating that ability, you can freely go around and kill any other max level player that has also unlocked the Rampage ability. It means that you cannot go into a lower level area and attack lower level characters, so there will be no griefing. It means that as a max level 36 character, you can't go kill a level 35 player, or for that matter, you can't kill a level 36 character that does not have the Rampage ability unlocked. So it will pit Rampage players against Rampage players and allow for you to, again, only if you have this ability unlocked, attack other players. And that does, of course, leave you open to suffering, griefing, and being camped and being killed when you're going AFK. But I mean, At the end of the day, you have the option here of unlocking the Rampage. I'm not sure if it is going to be required for anything in specific. Now, after you've killed enough people with Rampage activated, anyone in the entire world will be able to turn on you and kill you. And then you're sent to something called a Realm of Destiny, which is essentially kind of like a jail. And then through completing quests, you reduce your essentially the sentence you have there, and then you're capable of leaving and continuing to kill people if that is really what you ultimately want to do. There are bunches of different adorable looking mini games that are going to be present in the game. There is an entire housing system that is going to be present, neither of which we got to participate in the alpha, but both of which we hope to be able to participate in the beta test. Naturally, there is a collection system in the game. There are plenty of things you can craft. There are plenty of life skills available. At the end of the day, I feel like this is a very traditional MMORPG. Not traditional like EverQuest or RuneScape, not traditional like Final Fantasy XIV or World of Warcraft. See, Swords of Legends doesn't really do anything to innovate the genre. It doesn't do anything to necessarily set itself apart, but what it does good. And at the end of the day, do you want something that is new? Do you want something that actually provides you a new experience and an experience that is enjoyable? Or do you want something to attempt to offer you new experiences and ultimately fall flat? For me, I feel like the former, but I mean, there are those of you that might prefer the latter. I don't know. Now, I know pay to win is definitely a potential concern for a lot of players, but from what we saw in the alpha test in the cash shop and what we know of the Chinese developer, we do not believe that the game is going to be pay to win. But that does not mean that somewhere down the line it will not implement pay to win. It just means that at least the version we have access to right now and the version that you guys are going to be able to play once it launches will not be pay to win. As for the cash shop concerns, well, I'll let this clip pretty much explain exactly what you guys have to look forward to in the cash shop. Like, for those of you that are new to the stream that weren't here in the beginning, there are tons of cosmetic items in the cash shop. And these cosmetic items, as you can see here, these ones are already purchased. These are ones that I purchased on another class and another character altogether. So all the outfits that you buy on one character can be used on all characters. They're entirely account bound. All of the hairstyles are account bound. All of the weapon skins are account bound. The weapon skins apply to all classes as well. So I don't need to buy the Wushang appearance for like the sword, the spell sword, or the berserker. They will automatically come with this skin unlocked. The accessories are available across the account and across gender as well. And the mounts are available across the entire account. Pretty much everything with the exception of the outfits, because these are available for all of my female characters, but not for my male characters. So that is an incredibly important thing worth noting in the game, that everything is completely account bound. So once you buy it, you never have to rebuy it for any character henceforth. Hopefully this video helped you settle on whether or not you want to go ahead and play the game or not. I know this video ended up being really long, probably much longer than I had anticipated it being. I hope that it ultimately helps you decide whether or not you go ahead and purchase a game, because this is a buy to play MMO. But until then, here are some highlights from the stream. Okay, hairstyles. Okay, this is where things start to become a little more complex. See, you have every hairstyle has its own unique additional piece of hair. So this one, for example, has the ability for the bangs or the fringe, various different types. But if you choose this hairstyle, it has additional options. Things like this has options like that, like bangs and fringe like that. There provides a lot of options for unique hair customizations, which is really cool. I don't really see that done very much in MMOs. You are genuine, but your weapon is dull. What? Wait, has it started yet? Oh wait, 3, 2, 1. Where the hell are you?
Where the hell are you?
I have all the effects turned down, so it's difficult to hear this, by the way.
All of my effects automatically lock onto you, just FYI.
Oh, they do?
Yes.
So I can't actually dodge your abilities.
Ah!
But when there is an enemy, I can still, I don't lock onto an enemy like that. And my abilities can still move away without targeting the enemy. But, so that makes it seem as though it's an action combat game, but I did play the spell sword, or the sword mage, I forgot what his name is.
Spellblade, right?
I don't know, that's why I said I forgot what it was.
Something
And some of my abilities did auto lock on.
Jump. Oh no. This game is stupid proof. There's no way to like jump off of those.
Is it? Oh, I got a new ability finally.
I'm pretty sure I tried.
A few moments later.
Yep, you can jump off. And uh-oh.
See, when I try to jump off the
it's not
area,
stupid proof, guys.
Proof.
It's not stupid proof. But I can't jump up and I can't fly back up. You guys play from the same room? Yeah, I can literally poke her if I want to.
Don't poke me.
You guys did that on purpose so I die. I just want you to know that this is my class, like, hall. My class area. Every class has their own unique area. This one is specific to the Reaper. The sword mage has this gorgeous looking ice area, which is really freaking cool. See these bodies here? Watch this. Blood. Blood it. Blood. 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 Blood.
This. Oh, you pushed me. Ah! Where'd you go? What the hell?
I zoomed away.
Screw your swords!
And this is why I prefer this class over the Reaper. This is a lot better.
Where are you running? No. Screw you and your locks. I still win.
Close.
Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. Oh, another child. Another potential to make a cry. I don't like how this kid looks.
Wow.
All the characters, super beautiful, gorgeous. This kid. No, I'm not gonna punch him.
What?
What is happening?
It's completely different to if you run straight.
The dungeons are not stupid proof.
Cheers.
Someday soon, I'm gonna make it.